The biggest positive takeaway from Kentucky's win over Purdue in the exhibition, I think, had to be the play of those freshmen. That is going to be the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined, as always, by Carson Nash. Carson, I missed you on the post game. I missed you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know that you were doing the post game until I woke up Saturday morning. I was like, hey, look, I get to watch a Wildcats Today video this Saturday morning. So I was pretty excited that you did that. You know, I was out celebrating the plays afterwards.
I'll let everybody know. Everybody knew you were celebrating. I announced that to the people. Although I'll be honest, I think the people that watch this podcast could have figured that they could have guessed that. I think they were probably surprised I wasn't with you. Yeah. But my thought, I was just so excited about the win, and I was at the game, so I hadn't, had any Sprite or anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going home and I'm doing a post game. I'm too excited to not. That was the thought process. But so I've been excited to break down the game with you a little bit. Obviously, Carter, we're going to break down the game a little bit and talk about some more big picture conversations as well. And then we'll have a Georgetown preview here later in the week, and then we'll do a Georgetown post game as well. But Carson, we'll get into breaking down the game as a whole a little bit later and all that, but those freshmen were absolutely incredible. I wanted to see Jasper play well, but I was more concerned about Malachi. And we talked about that in the preview. The reason I was more concerned about that is because we're going to be acquaintanceless for, let's say till mid-December, right? Give or take, maybe a few more weeks, few less weeks, around there, though. And it's going to be him and BG. We could see maybe Reese Potter. He was sick. He will suit up, I assume, against Georgetown. Maybe he's the guy that we can throw in there for a few minutes a game. We'll see, assuming he's out there on Thursday against Georgetown. But those are your two guys as of right now, Garrison and Moreno in the center room. And Moreno looked incredible. Let me pull up the numbers on what he did in this game. What was so impressive to me was his efficiency. So he scored 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting, pulled down 4 boards and an assist to go with a block and a steal. So just an efficient day for him. And he looked the part. We got to think about this, Carson. That was his first college game as a true freshman. And I said this in the postgame, but everybody talked about how Moreno's coming from Great Crossing. He didn't go the prep school route. He hasn't played against the best of the best. Well, he did. He did on Friday against Purdue and looked incredible. I was so impressed with him, as was I Jasper. But Malachi is the one who just got me so fired up because we need him to play well while we're without Jaden Quaintance.
Yeah, 100%. And it got me fired up too. And the guy sitting behind me, he was a Georgetown native. So he, every time Malachi did something good, he was, Mr. Georgetown, let's go, baby. Scott County, stand up. So I was getting fired up for Mr. Malachi. We somewhat knew his brother growing up. So, we want Malachi to do the best. But he killed it. And it was a concern going into the game because, like you said, he's a freshman. We didn't know how good his competition was coming up. But, man, did he look the part. And me and you talked about it early on. We said this dude has tons of size. He's big, and he has very good footwork and finesse around the rim. And that's what we saw against Purdue. And him and his buddy Jasper, they sure did take those comments with a little chip on their shoulder because they showed out.
Jasper, we're sitting here talking about Malachi, but Jasper, what did he do? Not much. He just led the team in scoring on an efficient day shooting with one of the best layups I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was just draining threes from deep, creating his own shot. We heard the Dillingham comparisons all off season. He looked like Rob Dillingham. He did. He was using his shiftiness to create his own shot. That's exactly what Rob Dillingham. He looked like Rob Dillingham out there. That's what it was. Let's be honest. We heard the comparisons. We were all like, I don't know. That's what he looked like on Friday.
Oh, yeah. The side step 3 after crossing the dude up, and then the at the end where he broke that dude down, got to the rim, and made one of the best layups I've
ever seen.
I was going wild.
That play, I mean, even in the press box, like that was – so you would have been right behind that, right?
Yeah,
I saw
that. Yeah, I saw it unfold.
And that layup was just incredible. I mean, that was one where, like, in the press box, you have to not go crazy. In that layup, I let up like ooh, because I was like, that was just like really impressive. I was like, I couldn't withhold a audible noise on that one. So these freshmen being good is going to play such a crucial role for this basketball team, Carson. That's the reality. If these freshmen are better than we thought they were going to be, we thought that Jasper and Malachi were going to be good players, but they looked like elite weapons for this basketball team. And that is going to take this team to the next level. I thought we were going to go, one of them was going to be a hit. I thought it was going to be either Jasper or Malachi. It looks like it's going to be both of them. They looked the part, and it wasn't against Kentucky Wesleyan. It wasn't like we're sitting here saying this after beating Kentucky Wesleyan or Georgetown, or Georgetown, in Georgetown, Kentucky, not in wherever the Hoyas are. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reality. So I was so impressed with these guys. And to me, that is another reason. There's about 5 reasons that my expectations for this team jumped from that exhibition game. And that's the number one reason, was the play of these 2 freshmen.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you were to read our comments last week when we were previewing the game, you would have thought that Purdue had the best depth in the country and their backup lineup could be a top 15 team. But, Purdue, what happened? We got Jasper Johnson, and that's our depth, and Malachi's our depth. So good luck to every team in the country.
All right, I'm doing my rant. We talked about this yesterday. I am now deeming Purdue fans as my least favorite, most annoying fan base. I assume they're not going to be here today. If they're still here, they need to move on. I wish they were, because I'd love for them to hear my thoughts here. But the acting like this game was so important, and there was some rage bait going on there. So you have to read the fine line, but there was also some just genuine beliefs. And they put so much into this basketball game. They cared so much about it. And so did we. It was a big game. The people acted like they didn't care, and it didn't matter. They're lying to themselves. Every fan of each of these teams cared a lot about this basketball game, as did each coach, each player, right? I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, when Cam Williams came on the show last week, he was, you could tell how fired up he was playing this game. And Purdue loses the game. So, but before the game, like I said, we have the Purdue fans in our comments talking about how our take is so homer that our depth is better than their depth. And every time I responded, and I'd say this, in this business of the media, if someone disagrees, that's fine. But if someone just misinterprets what I'm saying, that's when I get annoyed. That's when I get really annoyed. And that's what was, these people were acting like I was saying that Kentucky's depth was leaps and bounds better than theirs, which at first I said, we have better depth. It was at the end, obviously it was. But I was saying I think we have the edge of depth. That's all I was saying. I said I'd probably give them the edge at the starting 5. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I really believed that. But once again, that's what everybody said. And they're like, well, it's such a homer take. And I'm like, well, that's what everybody in the national media, everybody agrees that Kentucky has the deepest roster and the best depth in all college basketball. So the homer take is you saying that this take is a homer take, because that means that you can't see any other option than your team having the best depth. And they annoyed me. Oh, man, Purdue fans annoyed me. And that was not rage bait. That was just genuine, like they believed that.
Yeah.
And so after that, then after the game, they then play we didn't care, we didn't scout. You know what's a loser mentality? I am so glad that Matt Painter's not my basketball coach. And now, I'll tell you this, and I like the guy. He said some good things post-game. But first of all, the we didn't scout thing, first of all, I don't really know how you would have, because
Yeah.
I mean, we could have watched the blue-white game. What are you gonna watch the dunk contest at Big Blue
Yeah.
Madness? Like, we only returned what? It was 4 guys: Colin, Ortega,
Trent.
Brandon, and Trent. So yeah, we
Mhm.
returned 4 real players on this team. But you could go watch, Cam Williams Tulane film. You could go watch, and you know who would have done that? Mark Pope. Do you want to know why? Because he plays every game to win the game. And this is a lesson that my dad has taught me. And I know it's something that your dad's taught you. If you are playing something and there's a score, if you are doing something where the lowest time wins, I don't care if it's who can drink the most beers in 4 minutes. I don't care if it's how fast can you swim from one end of the pool or the other. I don't care if it's how many backflips can you do. You do everything in your life with the intention to win. And if you don't, you're a loser. That makes me so angry. That is a loser mentality to just, well, and now here's the deal. Painter wanted to win that game. Painter was playing to win that game. But these Purdue fans acting like it's an exhibition game. We don't care. Shut up. You wanted to win that game just as much as we did, and you lost it, and you are acting like it didn't matter. Kentucky fans, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself, and I can speak for Carson. We would not have sat here and said, well, it didn't matter. We would have said Purdue outplayed us. We went out there and played to win. They played to win, and they got the win. Here's the positives from the loss. Here's the negatives from the loss. That's what we would come out and said. I'm so glad that Mark Pope is our basketball coach, because he plays every basketball game to win. He'll scout for every basketball game because he's representing the University of Kentucky, and he doesn't ever want to lose with that jersey on or ever feel like he hasn't done enough to win a game with that jersey on. So that is the biggest loser mentality. I'm serious. And I mean, you can say that's harsh. It is. It just is. You play everything in your life to win, and if you don't, why even show up?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's right. That's why I love Mark Pope, because you knew he wasn't going into that game wanting to lose at all.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a loser mentality. And I think it's kind of a cop-out answer, honestly, at the end of the day, because your best 3 players all played over 27 minutes. And Ortega played 16 minutes, and we didn't have Lowe or JQ, and we ran you off the court. So I think it's a loser mentality, and I think you should come up with a better excuse.
My favorite comment I got to reply to, this is you'll like this. I don't know if you saw it, but it was after somebody said a comment, like Kentucky fan, and someone replied and was like, Kentucky looked great, but I don't know if I would call that a dominant win. I think I titled it like dominant win or whatever, or blowout, whatever it was. And the guy replied, it was like, yeah, I don't know if I called it a blowout. I don't know if I called it a dominant win or whatever. And I replied, and I said, well, the 7'8" kid had 4 dunks in the last minute of the game that got it down to 13 points. It was more like an 18 to 20 point game. In reality. If you prefer, I could use the word manhandle if that makes me feel better. That was my favorite response of the day.
That's awesome.
But no, so Purdue fans, full disrespect, man. I'm done playing nice with this. Full disrespect. Now, that is the weakest mentality I've ever seen in my life, is that, well, we didn't care. It's an exhibition game. That to me, soft in general. I don't care. Go play to win the game. And that doesn't mean you can't mix and match lineups. And that doesn't mean you can't try things. That's great. But you're doing that still with the intention to win. And that's what I'm talking about. And I'll be honest with you, I think the Purdue fans know that, and they have that mentality, but they're just trying to find the cop out, and it's just it's whatever. But Purdue is overrated. They're not that good.
I knew what was going to happen, because I told you in the pre-show, Oster, Clough, and TKR, I don't think they can play together. Yeah. And I think Florida might have some of the same problems too. It's bad when you get 2 big guys in there that can't shoot or spread the floor, because it makes it they clog the lane, so that it's a harder time on the guards to get in there and get easy buckets and open up for the outside shooters.
It's clear why Clough was at South Dakota State.
Yeah.
That dude looked terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness. He was not a good showing from him. But, what were your other – I mean, I already, gave my piece when I did the post game. What were your other positive takeaways from the game, Carson?
Yeah, I mean, you hit on Jasper and Malachi. I thought they really stood out. I thought Ortega looked okay when he was in there. Of course, he didn't get as much time as we would have liked. I thought BG looked good. Trent made shots. I mean, everyone picked up where they were supposed to. The guy I might have been most impressed with, though, was Mo D. I just think Mo D gives 1,000% all the time on the court, and you can really tell. And he goes in, gets the loose balls, bullies some guys, like had 3 people on him in the post and still went up and made a layup over top all 3 of them. He's just a beast, and you have to have guys like that on your team.
You talk about, the correct life mentality. And if anyone's struggling with their life mentality, go try and sit down and have a conversation with Mo Diabate, because that kid is the most intense person I've ever been around in my life. And I said that after I said that on the podcast this summer after the media got to interview him. I'm like, that kid is different, man. And you can just tell. And that's what it looks like on the court. I mean, every little thing he's going to do, which is exactly what we missed last season. We just didn't have that guy to go get the loose ball, guy to go get those crazy rebounds, the guy that's going to put their body on the line to grab a board. And we did in this game, and that was Mo Diabate, and he looked great. And I was pretty impressed with his offensive output in this.
Me
ball
too.
I mean,
he handles the ball a lot better than I thought.
I agree.
And he is freaking physical when he handles the ball.
Oh, I know. Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. And he 8 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 2 steals. And
he got 2 early foul calls.
Mm-hmm. And was that in 30 minutes? No, that was in 19. That was in 19 minutes he did that.
19 minutes against the number 1 team in the country.
He did that.
8 and 9.
Yeah. Imagine if this guy plays 28, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he might get 15 rebounds. He might get 20. I mean, he's just, and once again, this dude is, you know how tall he is?
6'7".
6'7". So, he's not a 6'11" power forward out there. He wins with heart, and I just have so much respect for him.
It's like a little Rodman Jr., baby. I love it.
So Mo Diabate is a fun basketball player to watch, a fun player to root for, because he just says, I might be guarding you. You might be 6'11". Don't care. I'm going to out hustle you. I'm going to out heart you for 40 minutes.
You got barbecue back there? You didn't invite me.
Yeah. Mo Diabate, that's who, that's Papal's guy. He liked Mo Diabate. I know people are saying Papal needs to get back on the podcast. We're going to have to see how we can make that work. But, I just was so impressed with our basketball team. And I'm going to reiterate this point one more time for those in the back that are saying it's it's an exhibition game. Does it count toward our record of Purdue's? No, it doesn't. But the only thing I'll argue, and I said this to you on the phone the other day, Carson, is what's the difference? What would have been the difference if we played this game in 2 weeks compared to when we played it now? What differently?
Ortega would have played a lot more.
Yeah, Jalen Lowe would have played.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, yes, it's an exhibition game, but that's my question. If you're a Purdue fan, what from that game? So our first game's on November 4th, so less than 2 weeks. Our first game is what? I mean, heck, is that literally? Man, our first basketball game is a week from today, Carson Nash.
Oh, that's excited.
So, yeah, but so if you're a Purdue fan, okay, let's pretend that we opened up our season against you on November 4th. Okay. So everything that you just saw on November 24th, what leads you to believe that in less than 2 weeks, you're going to come out and beat us at home?
Purdue's depth.
They're going to have issues, and their issues are Clough is not good, and their depth is terrible.
Oh, speaking of the dude that sits behind me that's from Georgetown, he was into it. He was like, he looked at Clough and he goes, "No neck, no neck. You need to go to the YMCA."
That's fine. That's good. But I mean, that's the reality here. And you can say, well, you're drawing that. You're talking about this game again. Yeah, well, partially because we're going to talk about Georgetown tomorrow. But I mean, if you're a Purdue fan, what makes you think you'd beat us, 12 days later? Well, that's what we keep saying. It's an exhibition game. What leads you to believe you would beat us 12 days later? The answer should be absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Should be absolutely nothing. So
we're a terrible matchup for them too.
Yeah. Which that's true too, but I also think we're just a terrible matchup.
Yeah, we're just a terrible matchup.
And the reality is they did. I mean, and you saw it, their legs got tired. They left a lot of shots short in the second half of that ball game. Because they had Smith out there running 34 minutes and TKR running 30 minutes. They were
TKR had the yips with this little mid-range floater.
Yeah, and you could say, well, I mean, the thing about basketball, like, you've been practicing all off season and playing against bodies. Like, I think it's different than other sports. Like, it's different than football getting out there. Like, you should be able to make that shot in an exhibition game. You've been practicing it against bodies, against your own team all off season. You know what I mean? I think it's a little different than, opening day of baseball. You haven't seen a ton of live arms, or, like there's differences there, or football. You really haven't played anybody else. There's not really a ton of exhibitions in football. You kind of just go out there and play. So, I think Purdue missed some shots that they were going to make that they'll make in a lot of games, but I still don't think it matters. Just don't think it matters. So, I was so impressed with this. Oh, Cameron's texting about horse racing. This is a direct Cameron text. This is in the Burl Notes. Yeah. Breeders' Cup races also on Saturday for Monster Nash. Sovereignty in the Classic at 6:25 before UK Auburn.
Let's go.
So there you go.
There we go.
Now he's definitely gonna. He's in now.
Yeah,
he's in now. There's horse racing. But what about Denzel Aberdeen in this game, Carson? What were your thoughts?
I thought he did a lot of good things. I mean, I thought he defended really well. I mean, he didn't shoot the best, but you're not going to go out there and shoot the best every single night. But I thought he did a lot of good things. And I think him and the way Colin Chandler guarded Braden Smith was huge for this team. Both of them disrupted them with their height and physicality, and being able to interchange those guys and not really miss a step on the defensive side of the ball is going to be massive for us.
The thing for me is I've seen a lot of folks, the same that you could say about, TKR. Aberdeen, it's basketball. You're gonna have games where you miss shots. It's the reality. Aberdeen will have a game where he goes 5 for 7 from 3. He didn't have a good day shooting the ball. I think it's unfair to deem him. Now, I've heard some concerns about him as a shooter from Pro Day, but it's basketball. Now I don't know. Do I want him shooting 10 threes? Probably not, because there's probably a better option out there. And he took a couple shots where I was like, okay, it's a fixing of the shot selection. The first shot was open and he drilled it. That's a good shot,
Yeah.
But he's a good shooter. I believe that. Not a great shooter, not an elite shooter. He's a good shooter. And if he's open, shoot it. I'm just saying, let's cut him down to 4 threes a game, maybe, and let's see if we can make him better looks. That's all I wanted. But I'm not saying he's not on my you can't shoot list. And I'll tell you if that happens, but he's not there.
Yeah.
I think it's a little early. I've seen a lot of Aberdeen need to stop shooting the ball. Let's see what happens against Nichols and some of these games before we put them on that list. But I haven't put him there yet. What do you think about Cam?
I thought Cam looked good on the defensive end. Cam's the wild card. Like, he's the kind of guy that's going out there running with his head cut off and just trying to get loose balls, trying to just be everywhere. I thought he could have shot more. He didn't also shoot the best. I thought he passed up a couple open looks that I'd like to see him take. But all in all, I thought he played all right. He just, it's his first game with Kentucky, so there's going to be some areas of improvement that everyone needs to start off the season. But, some players like Jasper played better than others. But I think next game, Cam Williams could go for 30.
Yeah. Now I got another. I agree. Cam didn't have his best shooting night, but he did make a couple. And Cam's gonna be okay. I liked his defense. I've seen a lot of positives.
That's the thing for me with this team is, like, last year, if someone was having an off night, like Andrew Carr is having an off night, or someone was having an off night, we were like, oh shoot, like, we're probably not going to be able to keep up with this team because we can't stop.
Yeah.
But now you got Cam Williams having an off night, but he's one of the better defenders on the team, and he can go in and lock the other guy down.
Exactly. When you're a good defensive team, and we've talked about this for weeks, when you're a good defensive team, you can have a bad shooting night and win a game. And that's why Purdue didn't win this game.
Yeah.
Because they had a bad shooting night and their defense is terrible. And you lose games that way. And that's why Purdue's not going to be successful in in March. I had a Purdue fan comment the other day too, and say we'll see you in March. And I said you'll be in March. We'll be playing in April.
Yeah,
and I don't think they like that very much. But last player I want to bring up to you, and this is one that I've seen a lot of different things on social media, and I'm kind of on the less negative side of this performance. But so you tell me your thoughts, and you'll be honest. But Yelovich, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you because I think he shot poorly, maybe played offensive a little robotically, but I think all that comes with learning. But I do think he looked pretty good on the defensive end of the court, and I think he was pretty athletic side to side wise. Like sometimes he got switched on to Braden Smith, and Braden Smith couldn't score on him. Yeah. So I was like, dang, we got a guy who can go out and guard some people. And so I think even though he didn't play the best offensively, I think that's going to come with time. And I think he did have a good game.
He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He did, the plus minus was a 0. I think he was the plus minus loser.
Yeah, I think Chandler was the winner.
Yes, he was actually this is interesting. He was tied with Hawthorne.
Hawthorne played for 4 seconds.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. That was my joke. But if you take Hawthorne out, obviously, and you add you know who the second lowest plus minus was?
Who?
Ortega.
Really? That's kind of wild.
I know. That's interesting. He only played 17 minutes. And honestly, I disagree. I don't think Ortega had his best night.
No, I don't either.
That's another positive in a funny, because that's not who Ortega Owe is.
No.
So your best player had an off night in only 17 minutes, and you were without your other 2 of your 3 best players.
Yeah.
And you beat the dog crap out of the number 1 team. It's another reason I said that I am going to overreact to the exhibition win. But the Yelovich thing, I've seen a lot of. I disagree on is there room for him to get better? Of course. I think he's going to be one of those guys that week by week, game by game, he just keeps getting a little bit better. Little by little, he keeps getting better. That's who I think Yelovich is going to be. Was he the best? Was he tip-top shape against Purdue? I don't think so. He didn't look great offensively, but he went 3 or 4 at the free throw line. He gave you 3 points. He gave you 5 rebounds. He gave you 2 assists. He did some good stuff. You saw the flashes. It wasn't fully there, but you saw the flashes. So I am not fully out on Yelovich. And I want to hear everybody's thoughts on that in the comments. I mean, are y'all super anti-Yelovich? There were some negative takeaways from his performance for sure, but I think there were some positive ones too. And I think people are looking past the positive ones and just looking at the negative.
Can't be more negative than Oscar Clough's performance.
Exactly. I mean, I think Yelovich outplayed Oscar Clough.
Yeah.
We could have Oscar Clough on our team. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That would be unfortunate. But that is the last talk of Purdue. It is time to, not today, but to move forward to Georgetown and to get ready for that ball game. So we'll have a Georgetown preview later in the week, and then we will have a Georgetown post game on Friday morning or Thursday night, probably Friday morning. But any other thoughts, takeaways from the game, Carson, before we get out of here?
That's all I got. It was a great game. I'm looking forward to this Thursday. I think it's going to be another great game. This team is really, really good. So get ready to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been fun watching the reactions to this just from the national media, other podcasters. It's just been fun because people are just like, holy crap. It was exciting. Rupp Arena brought it, man. Rupp Arena brought it. Carson was a big part of that. Jared was a big part of that. But Rupp Arena brought it on Friday night. I was very impressed. And I talked to Mr. Williams before the game, and I told him, and I said, listen, 6:00 game. He was excited for the first game in Rupp, and I was like, listen, if it's like a little bit late showing up crowd, you got to understand 5:00 traffic in Lexington is terrible. I was a little worried, not about the whole game. I was worried about the first 10 minutes. It was because I talked to him about, hour before the game, and then even half an hour before the game, it looked a little like, and then boom, filled in just like that. And it was great. And the crowd was electric. I was so impressed with Big Blue Nation for that game. I mean, nobody does it like Big Blue Nation, man. Any comments on Louisville's performance?
Yeah, I think Louisville fans need to get ready for November 11th. I think start getting excited, Kentucky fans, because this is where we unleash the bookmarks.
Yeah. Lakel Brown played ball. What did he actually go? Was it like 2 for 19?
Yeah, it was not good. He did not shoot very efficiently. He did not have very many points, and I think he made them worse.
That was me asking for numbers at the bar efficiency. I mean, it was rough.
Oh,
it
Lord.
was rough numbers. Goodness gracious. No, I mean, that was.
What was it? Your bar numbers, what are you, 1 for 10 with a layup and then a free throw?
Yeah, 2 assists. Good wingman, you know, gotta add that.
Okay. Okay, so you're more of a passer.
Yeah,
you're more of a passer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can respect that. Little John Stockton action.
Exactly. Yeah. Past that bish like Stockton, you know, man. But so yeah, Louisville looked rough. I'm not gonna crap talk too much because you know they're gonna come into that game with everything.
Oh yeah,
that will be their everything. So
yeah,
but I'm excited for that one. So that's all I've got, Carson. I think right now we're looking at putting the Georgetown preview up Thursday morning. Long story, so it's going to be, listen to that at some point. It'll be on Spotify if we get it up tomorrow. But there was just a lot going on. And then Friday morning, we will have you a post game from the Georgetown exhibition. So that one will be fun. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And like I said, everywhere you get a podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, you can listen there as well. Leave a 5-star review on those platforms. All of that helps us out. We would really appreciate it. Hey, tell a friend. I mean, word of mouth, everything helps us out. So we appreciate that. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today Podcast.